Today we're going to be talking about negotiating with our partners, when we should compromise and when we need to really stand our ground. And relationship coach Julie Jeske is here to break it all down for us. So welcome, Julie Jeske. All right, so first of all, we've talked about fair fighting before. We're not doing that today. This is sort of, this is different than that, negotiating.
Yeah.
So how?
Often when we hear the term negotiating, it sounds like a business transaction, right? Like, how do you negotiate a raise, or how do you negotiate a car sale? We don't hear about negotiating in terms of relationship. And so fair fighting is something you use if you're having an argument, if you're having a disagreement. But negotiating is something you can use all the time, anytime you need to make a decision with a partner. So there's small things you can negotiate, like something as simple as where are we going to go to dinner tonight, to buying furniture or art or something for the house, to going away for the weekend, and bigger things that you have to negotiate, like are we going to get married, are we going to have a baby, are we going to buy a house together, or what if one person wants to move to a different state, those like big life decisions.
Changing things, right?
So what are the keys to that?
So the biggest key to negotiating is compromise. And when people hear compromise, they often think that means we have to meet in the middle. And that sometimes can work, but there are some decisions where you can't meet on the middle if one person wants to have a baby and the other person doesn't, right? Like
There's
you can't
no middle ground
have
there.
a baby. Yeah. So there's different ways to compromise. So an example would be someone who wants to go to a tropical vacation and then the partner wants to go somewhere cold to go skiing or something. And one way to compromise would be to go one place one year and then the other the next year. A lot of people will do something like that. Or you could do a shorter trip somewhere warm and then tag on a shorter trip somewhere cold after that. Or you can take separate vacations. So you can compromise without meeting completely in the middle.
Right. Now, what about like the big things? Like you mentioned the baby, and I've known people that one wanted to have a baby, the other didn't, and that's a big thing. Like, who's the winner? Or is the person that doesn't want the baby always going to win in that case? Because
it depends. The tricky thing about winning in that case is that the other person, one person loses then, right? And whenever you lose something, you're going to feel resentful about it. So if there is like a big decision where one person doesn't want to bend, or the way you're both wanting to move forward seems like you're moving this way instead of toward each other, it might take a lot of time. It's important to talk about why something is important to you. Like, I want a baby is one thing, but here's why I want to have a baby. I love you so much and I want to, sometimes hearing why something's important can help the other person bend, and how important something is too. If it's extremely important for me to have a baby, but it's like so important for you, then maybe you can bend towards me a little bit, If it's extremely important for both people to keep their ground, bending is going to be a lot harder, Sometimes you also have to think about what's most important for the relationship rather than what's most important for you. Trying to be right is different than trying to do what's right for your relationship.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I know what that means every day.
Yeah.
But so is it possible then to bend too much?
Yes. Yeah.
Which I sometimes do also.
Yeah, and I think, I don't like using gender stereotypes, but I think that happens for women sometimes,
People pleasers.
Yeah,
right?
yes, we say yes, we take care of other people, and sometimes we do it against what we really want, So it is possible to bend too much, so you might want to look at how things are playing out in your relationship. Is your partner kind of running the show? Are they always getting their way and you're not getting yours at all? Now, if you're okay with some of the things you're bending on, like if you really don't care if you have Thai food, that's not something that I want you to go home and get fired up about, right? But if you find out that you are always bending and you are never getting your way, it's important to look at that. And it's important not to just be mad at your partner about that, but to wonder, what is it about me that is keeping me from standing up for myself, And so working on standing up for yourself, and then maybe sharing that with your partner too, like, hey, I notice I'm not getting my way ever. I really want to work on standing up for myself. Can you help me do this? So that then the relationship is coming first and you're both practicing new patterns of behavior.
Isn't it also important, this is sort of off topic, but to pick your battles too?
Absolutely.
Because, I find myself sometimes with Mark, even though I might not agree or want whatever it is that he's proposing or what, but if it's just, I'm like, I'm just too tired to argue or too tired to negotiate or whatever.
And that's why it's important to know how important something is for you. If it's something you can just be like, I don't want to fight on this one, I don't really care if we have this kind of furniture or whatever, not a big deal, But if it's something that you feel in your gut that if things go differently, it's going to be really difficult for you, that is a time for you to stand up for yourself.
Interesting. Yeah, I know when I got married, my husband's family is Catholic, and I'm not.
That's another one of those,
And he wanted to do the church thing, and I didn't, but I was kind of like, well, I just thought we get married in a vineyard or something, you know, wishy-washy. He ended up winning because to him it was like something that was important.
So important.
Where I didn't really have an important thing, I just, you know. Yeah.
And you feel okay with that. Years later, it's not like you regret, you know, have this deep regret about it.
Right.
It's those things that you will regret. Those are the things you don't want to bend on. Otherwise, I think bending is great. I mean, the more we can bend, the more peace there will be in a relationship.
And if you're too tired at the time when it comes up, you know, you can always say, hey, can we just table this and revisit this later?
Totally.
Because I am tired.
So don't make any big decisions right now.
So what about homework?
So this homework is for a couple who is in a stalemate, who just cannot budge from their points of view. If that is your situation, what you want to do is spend a little time in your partner's shoes. Spend an hour, spend a day, spend a week imagining what life would be like from their perspective. So if it's the baby, no baby, and you want the baby, imagine your life without a baby for a week. You know, imagine making the choice that's not going to happen. What is that like? You know, and vice versa. It's best if both partners can do this. Don't make the decision, but imagine what life would be like and live life as if you had made that decision.
Always good advice. And of course, for more, visit juliejeske.com. And we'll be right back with, I think, a very special birthday wish. Stay with us.